Welcome, everyone, to Your Little Castle Show. We ask some of our past guests to kind of revisit with us from time to time. We have the good fortune to have Tracie Thole in the building, and Tracie is helping me. We've made a dual slash, this is going to be we did an interview earlier with a new member of our team who I've been working with for, talking to the group for a couple months now, and we had a long chat yesterday, and I said, hey, this is a really good fit. She's a marketing expert, and she said, hey, I want to be part of this. This is awesome what you're doing. She's a musician, but she's done SEO, search engine optimization. Her dad is one of the top guys in the region and maybe in the country, and she's been working with him for 10 years. And I said, this all ties in very well with what we're doing, because one of the first things you have to do, and this is true of marketing anywhere, is you must first get someone's attention, and hopefully you do it in a high quality fashion, which is what we try to do right here on our show. Would you say we do a pretty good job here making people look good on camera and TV and all that?
You do a wonderful job. You worked extremely hard.
Yeah. So what did you do with what'd you like about your interview, your show? And your show aired like a week ago or so, and already I know there's some chatter about it, and you've got lots of clips. We're going to share that with everybody. I'm going to put up on the wall. Before I do that though, Tracie, why did you enjoy being on the show? Tell me what your experience about being a guest on the Your Little Castle show.
It was great. You're well known in the community. You've worked really hard, and to build a studio and help promote local businesses in the St. Louis region area, and it kind of helped me get my business started. Up and running. With this Airbnb. Obviously I inherited the house like we talked about in the interview from my father, and he did long-term rentals where I grew up in the western suburbs of Chicago, and I kind of wanted to follow his footsteps. And so, after I inherited the house, we got approved, to get the short-term rental, and this Airbnb started. And, having a little bit of background on myself, majoring in fashion and marketing, and then, coming on your show, and you helping me to promote and start this website and be on ABC 30 on Your Little Castle, it really kind of helped, get the business going even more, and I majored in fashion and marketing, so, I got to decorate it and kind of learn how to run an Airbnb.
Yeah, and it's just, there's nothing like being on TV if you can afford to be on TV, and This is where we put our guests on, and they get, it's just, when I figured out how to produce a TV show much more efficiently than, I know what the other guys do, it's just, they've got quite a bit more overhead, because you got a lot of people. But I'm a techie nerd. Thank goodness my mama, you've met my mom. Yeah. She has made me go to computer classes just in case the professional career. We just recently went to Chicago. I met my old baseball coach, who I hadn't talked to since before my coma was the last time I talked to him. And then I got in a coma, and this is fall soccer I was playing, but I was going to play spring baseball, Central Methodist University, who lost in a national championship a couple years ago. But I was his shortstop back then, and he said, Carter, I had a player that was made it to AA. He was setting records. He was going to go to the big leagues, it looked like. I'd say, if you're setting records, he said, setting records in AA, you tell me. And I said, well, most guys skip AAA if they're that good, and goes right to the bigs, and then he got hurt. And he said, you were as good as or better than him, but I have to make the argument that God had a different plan for me, and maybe doing this, which I enjoy, helping people who deserve to be recognized, to get the recognition they deserve, and put them on TV and say, hey, talk about your business and share what you're doing. And that's what you did. And you've got so much content now. That's the real key to this, because it's a half-hour discussion. You've got so much content now to share. We cut it up all into clips, and the clips are all automated and made into posts for you. I'm going to show this right. What do you think about all the content and the clips you're going to have to share on your social media?
It's great. I think people now finally get to see, how hard we've worked on it. We've been doing it for almost a year, like I said. So it's kind of awesome. And now having these clips, they can really see, how we got it started, and how far I've come. Getting 75 star. Oh, it was 70 at the time. Now we're at 95 star reviews.
85 on yours.
Or 85.
I saw so I helped you manage a little bit. She's got 85 on hers, and like 17 5-stars on our little place, and my little place in Fayette, Missouri, which is my dad's property we inherited. My mom owns now, and I said, well, let's do this. And I got to work with you on that one, so then let's do it. So let's put a little bit of that information up here for everybody. But if you take a look here on the wall, here is. And I put up content. I said, we're going to show off our big screen. Might as well show off some content that we own, and that's why I own that content. But these are some of the pictures. I'm going to do a refresh here on the screen, because one of the smarter things you did here was to take pictures of your furniture and the settings and everything set up. But you also said, hey, by the way, here's a still image from my interview on ABC. That's pretty cool. And as you scroll down, a little bit more information, and then Hey, look at that. That's the whole interview on your, and you can play it right inside your web page you got here, and watch it right there inside the website. Good idea. I'm not sure
cool.
who encouraged you to do that, but you can jump ahead in here and see. There is the interview, and let that play and get my mouse out of the way, and it makes it look like that. And you can even make it go full screen from here if somebody wants to, right? That's cool. But we'll escape. Press the escape button. There's the easy way to get back there. But also, let's go back to show off a little bit about why we're so proud to have had you on the show, why we wanted you to have the show. Here's what we're talking about. 89 reviews, everybody. That's current. That's like the live Airbnb right now. You see this URL at the top. I click refresh.
Top 1% of Airbnb.
Yeah, let's scroll down here. That's the website.
It's all about being a great communicator and, just going above and beyond for what your guests want. Sometimes they want to check in early, check out late. Sometimes they ask you questions before they book, and it's like it's like any business. It's a chance you're taking. Sometimes you gotta, say no to some, but most of them, I've accepted. There's been a few where I've had to, unfortunately, say no. But.
Yeah, well, tell me the situation. A couple of people, I think you talked to me about that. They wanted to have essentially a big party at the house for kids.
For kids,
at least because they say, hey, they pretty much block any parties. You got to have a sound detector that can determine that what's going to happen and whatever, and alert you and let you know if there's a party going on. We've had no complaints from any of the neighbors, from what I've heard at your place. Is that right?
No.
And when you've got 89 reviews, I'm gonna click on the reviews now. So people just scroll down here and look at this. But yeah, overall rating, that's like for the entire duration here. And look at these averages here, and I'm like, what are you doing? You must know somebody.
Had a couple of repeating guests, that have really enjoyed the place so much, and it's nice having a fenced yard and wood floors because I can allow animals, also dogs, and at first I wasn't sure if I wanted to, but you take a chance, a certain height and weight for the dog, but so far I haven't had any problems on that end, so that's always kind of a plus too to have that, because a lot of people want to travel with their pets because they'd have to get a dog sitter or have somebody watching anyways. You charge them a one-time fee for the dog, and most of them will pay it because they're going to have to pay somebody to go to doggy daycare or watch their dog anyways.
Yeah, they do the math on all that. That's a smart move, because you have a fenced-in area already. And I think there was one gal, she said, you told me that the doggy might have snuck out the little gap because she had a really small dog. But she even said, I just put a little extra piece of wood in there. I don't know what she said, but that was interesting when you shared that. We talk a lot about her Airbnb stuff. Tracie's got a lot of great stuff going on. The clips, though, I wanted to show those off a little bit. Here's Tracie's clips. That I make these clips for everybody so that they can have all kinds of content. And here's what they look like. And so this is her mastering. These are all automated with the AI stuff that we do. Incredible rentals, secrets, is location key to use your success. And these are all generated, and we've already shared a few of these, had great response. So this is really cool. But those clips are all generated from that 1.5 hour interview we did, right? That was pretty neat. And then look at this, we've got some data that shows kind of the interaction you've had. Wow, Tracie, way to get this thing going. I mean, you're on the ball. You're using what we did for you, and we want you to, because if you use these interviews and clips, the whole interview on the front of our website, the clips, there's that interview. It's on her website right there in a window, and it's still shot at the top of the page again. As we give it 1 second to play through there, and you'll see it's the second, not the first image, but you put it as the second image. There it is. I mean, now you're really on the ball. You are literally like changing the way people market. I mean, how do you think you've been booked up? What's your capacity? I mean, how often? What you book out, like 80-90% of the time?
80 and 90% every month. So I probably miss maybe a week. Maybe some of them months have only been like 2 or 3 days that it hasn't gotten booked. But most of the months get booked.
Yeah, I think I looked at your stats with you, and it's like you're 85%
booked capacity.
90 sometimes.
Yeah.
And really seem to know what you're doing. Well, keep up the good work with that. We're glad you were a guest on our show. And so that, I think, really helps people to understand what you're doing on there. I noticed you're wearing a blue hat. What is that blue hat? What's going on with the blue hat? Where did you get that from? Can you tell everybody a little bit about that?
Well, I was very thankful to get it from you because, I happened to be on your show, and I appreciate you having me come back again. And thank you for the awesome hat. Yeah,
and that says, we're on the Your Little Castle show, doesn't it? I think we might have to zoom in on you there. Tell me why are you proud of the hat and what you're doing in the community to to make a little difference, and that hat's kind of cool for you. You gonna wear the hat?
Of course, I'm going to wear the hat. I would love to sponsor you.
Well, well, sponsor me. You want to put some revenue into the game, but just wear the hat. That's kind of a sponsorship, I guess.
It'll help, promote, your little
Promote,
castle.
okay.
Yeah,
I like that.
ABC.
Well, tell me about
what stands out.
That interview,
Your
and then
colors.
why would you wear that hat? What does it represent to you? And what's it kind of neat? What the whole thing, the whole promoting thing? Why do you enjoy it? What the hat says you were on TV, right?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me why that's cool.
Because not very many people will be able to get on ABC 30,
True. Tell me more.
I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's fun to be on TV.
It is fun to be on TV.
And you got to talk about yourself
Yeah.
and what you did and how it worked.
And local leader in St. Louis and how you got your business started. And
I mean, you're a master at Airbnbs. I mean, that's pretty obvious. It's hard to imagine somebody knows more than you do. I mean, I'm sure there's people that know a lot more that have done it for, but in the short time,
period
of time
you
that
learn as time goes.
literally were like on. And so I'm like, well, anybody learns how to make an Airbnb work as quickly as you did must really have something going, because it can't be. It's just something you can't just wake up one day and go, oh, I'm gonna do an Airbnb. I think I got this, right? Well, whenever you
having kind of a background in all the different categories between working retail, service industry, coming from a father who was very experienced in the construction world, contracting world, I kind of learned from a little bit of everything. Interior design, fashion merchandise. I always wanted to be a buyer, so maybe I found a new niche.
Okay. Well, I agree with you that you've done a great job and you know what you're doing, and it's obvious that, not everybody can wake up one day and say, oh yeah, I want to start an ARB and I want to start off with 95 or 89 straight five-star reviews. Yeah. But you managed to do it, so proud of you for that. My video production assistant is in the building, and I'm asking Billy, I want you to zoom that big camera in for me just a little bit, because I'm trying to get a video shot of her hat, and I've got my remote controller, but the top one up there you go. Zoom that in for me, and you can see where it should go. But I mean, literally, when you get to put that kind of production together, and that kind of, when you've done what Tracie has done here, it's pretty awesome to see. There you go. And so, she's got a hat on her head or the one on the table, whichever one. Billy's manning my camera for me. He's helped me many times on my show and all my stuff in the community. But zoom in as tight as you can on that hat. There we go. I'm gonna put that on there. But take a look at that hat, everybody. Do you think you deserve to get a hat? I'm gonna pull this back a little bit so you can see. Mm-hmm. But we got a bunch of them here. You can see here's our stack of hats, and I got one more here for one lucky guest who's gonna come and be on our show. You can do that, and we'd love to have you be a guest, and we'll give you a hat for being a guest on our show and share with us, the community, what you do. So I want to talk a little bit more about Chela and the fact that she was on earlier today, because Chela has become, like I said, a pretty good friend real quickly, because we've been working, like I said, a couple months in discussions with him and her and her dad about what I'm working on and could we partner on some stuff. And when I really dug into it, I was like, wow, it's nice to have some people that really do know what they're talking about. You've seen me, we talk all the time. Tracie and I are pretty tight, pretty close. And she's like, Carter, sometimes it's hard to find people that are really willing to be dedicated, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, the world has become a little tougher to find the hardworking people, I guess some people would say. But this gal really knows her stuff. And when I had that discussion, everything kind of fits together. So she was on here earlier today. We shot, and if you do hear the recording, I had changed one of the cameras out. Billy was helping me. He's helping me with that 4K camera. That's the one up there, a new 4K camera. And we got a couple of 4Ks and a bunch of 1080s. But you all know technology, you know what I'm talking about. They look pretty much the same unless you really get into it. But it's nice to have that zoom you could do. But the mics were a little bit off because when I made one adjustment, it affected everything else. So forgive me. We don't spend hours and hours editing and producing. And we try to set everything. It's sharpen the knife. I heard that quote from Abraham Lincoln. Have you heard that one? I think it was quoted. Wesley Bell gave me that quote. He was on our Cowboy and Judge show. Everybody knows Wesley Bell. He just became a state rep, United States rep here out of St. Louis. And he was on the show when he was prosecuting attorney for St. Louis on the Cowboy and Judge show. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget, he goes, I will sharpen the knife 7 times to make one cut, right? And that makes sense if you're thinking about in life, because how many times you end up in a situation where you're just like, slap it together, make it hammer it in, and then it falls apart an hour later, right? Because you didn't do it right to begin with. So we kind of set our show up that way. And then if we do have an issue, if we've got time, there's just so many shows. This particular show was not like, oh my gosh, it's got to be absolutely perfect. I need something out there right away because she just joined the team and the audio wasn't perfect. I might mix it a little bit, but it sounded actually okay. Now, I shot that earlier today. Now the audio sounds back to perfect, pretty close. And so those are the things we have to do. Would you say that's a good example of what you've done as a business owner / Airbnb guru now? You've become a novice guru. Is there such thing? Somebody's new, but also has done unbelievably well when you got 89 straight 5-star reviews. She's had a couple reviews I saw. They gave her a 4 out of one category, but there's 6 categories. So you always had average, and now those have been wiped off. He said, I guess it was the last month worth of categories there. And it was 5s and 5s averages on everything. Check it out more. You can see there's a couple little things that people had wrong, but it still averaged 5. Amazing. How do you think you did that? Where'd that come from? I'm kind of impressed.
Well, you kind of helped me get it started, so, you know, and then all about having connections of who you know, so going through the people, you know, in the city of St. Charles, we got fathered in right in time before they stopped it, you know, allowing any more new permits, so, you know.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Tracy's giving me a little kudos. There's a permit process for a lot of cities, some counties and other outlying areas, a lot of places that's just the Airbnb thing. But some of them say, hey, we got to take control of this, make sure there's none of these, anything going on. And like, the one benefit you have, I noticed, that somebody already mentioned to us, is that your location is close to where all the fun is, but a block away, so you're not in the middle of it.
I'm not in the middle of the loudness. I mean, it's still a couple blocks away. You can still walk to everything, but you're not right in the prime spot where it's super loud by the bars and the restaurants and all that.
All right, everybody, thanks again, and
Thank you.
We'll put up our closing titles that I'll edit. They're going to go in right now, but I'm going to, just so they're all in one video, I'm going to cut them out of here at the end without having to re-record and bring a separate video. Video editing tricks of the trade, everybody. Take a look here. There it is, everybody. Your little castle. Giddy up. And we're back. We're doing another quick fun video here because we got somebody to introduce. Yeah, we'll check. Kayla.
Hello. Check. 1, 2.
There we go. All right, let's have a little chat.
Yeah.
There's your LinkedIn page up on the far wall over there. We can zoom out and do some more of that later. I'm your host, the Cardinal Cowboy. I'm always looking for fancy, awesome, cool people. And after figuring out what this girl does, because she's a business expert, really, she does some band stuff too. Obviously, her band is world famous, almost, right?
We're working on it.
You got a lot of followers. You're doing well. But you can see her LinkedIn page. I'm going to actually put that up on the wall for everybody. Say, look at that. See on the wall? That's what everybody sees now.
Very cool.
And while we're talking, and pretty cool. So say something. Oh, there's our extra camera, the one I unplugged. But hey, there we're back.
Nice.
We're going to have 5 cameras back here shortly. But we're working out cool stuff in the studio. I got my new 4K camera. I wanted to use it for this. That's why we had to set everything up again. You make one change. Kayla, what do you love about what we're working on here?
I love working in any kind of media. My favorite part of my job is getting to make videos, getting to perform, getting to talk to people. So when you said, hey, let's work together, I said, absolutely.
Well, you actually do a ton of work with SEO. You're like an SEO expert.
Yes.
Do you know what SEO is? Search engine optimization. And it can be one of the biggest scams on the planet unless you find somebody who knows what they're doing. I can tell you all about it. I've had clients that are like, I told you were getting ripped off. But anyway, we're being nice about it. We didn't name any names. We just tell people, watch out for those people that tell you you're getting a bunch of stuff, and if you dig in, you find out you're not. You know how to make sure they do.
Oh, yeah. My dad started a internet marketing business at the inception of the internet in 1996. So I've been learning it from the ground up.
Yeah. And literally, like the ground up meaning, like, I wrote my master's thesis in 1995 through 98. And I predicted, lucky guess, this internet thing was going to be catching on. And so that, 96, 97, 98, and then it just took off. And gosh, if I had ideas that the Google guys came up with before the Google guys came up with it, they just had more money or more resources. But by now, this TV thing has just taken off. It takes businesses to another level. Kayla, I know it's spelled Chela.
Yes.
But it's said Kayla, and I had to figure that out. But she knows her stuff, and we're going to work together because it's hard to find anybody who knows as much as she does, that I don't have to go, okay, I got to train you from the beginning, and you're going to not, So why do you think videos help businesses so much?
So people have become very visual, especially in the last 5 years here. The attention span has dropped from people being able to pay, attention for 30 minutes to an hour to you really have about 30 seconds to capture someone. And there's a lot of like long format, there's a ton of value to be had with long format blog content on websites, and most of my business is creating written content. That's really what pulls people in, but that's used more as a gateway to get into a website, where if you have a video that boom catches someone, if you can catch someone in the first 3 to 5 seconds, they're going to watch. But you have literally 3 seconds, which is why video is so important to business.
Abso-friggin-lutely. And that's where I said, and it better be something that doesn't look like you filmed it in your garage.
Yeah, if it
because
looks
then
like
you're damaging your brand,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have people say, I definitely shouldn't use them. But that's why we built our own studio here in a secret location. But it also does beautiful work. Got the slider going here. I control the whole thing from here. I'm a computer nerd. Thanks, Mom, for making me go to computer classes during summer, just in case the professional baseball career didn't work out. And my coach told me recently I was gonna make it. I met with him. He said, you had what it took, but God had a different plan.
Yeah.
And that includes working with people like Chela here. And so tell me why. One wrap up was you would say, this is what you need to do and why, and especially being on a network like ABC.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna use this video.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I can tell you, I just make stuff up and put it off the top of my head. But I'm telling you, not to say I make stuff up, but I mean, I make off the top of my head. I'm pretty good at this. I've been doing it for 25 years. You see, it says total of 35 years shared experience. I've got 25 of those. She's got 10 in this space. And because when people get to be on TV, they get to another level. How do I know? Because I used to work for a little brewery based out of St. Louis called Anheuser-Busch. We got to see the Budweiser commercials before everybody else. Then I worked for another company called, now they're called Car Shield. I did a lot of stuff for them. I can go into all of that. You wouldn't believe all the stuff I did if I told you. And in between, I did stuff for like Vincent Mortgage, $99.99. Name it, man. TV brings you to another level.
Yeah.
But now you take that TV interview, and where do you put it?
You put it on your social media. You have to syndicate content. You can have the best piece of content in the world, and if it just lives in one little space, you're only getting the people who go right there. But the coolest thing about the internet is that it is free for the most part, and no one understands what they have at their fingertips. I'm a musician as well, and I'm always telling people social media is your gateway to becoming a band who plays to 5 people to playing for 5,000 people. What you need to do is look at yourself as someone who creates content in addition to music, make it equally as important. Because if you can widen your audience from, the 100 people that visit your website every week to the millions of people that are using Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X now, live streaming on Twitch is a great thing, or using TikTok, anything like that, you can get a much broader audience. And if you want people to see you, you have to go in front of them. And that's what you have to do.
And if you end up with an interview that happened to have aired on ABC, not for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or 7 minutes, but for 28 minutes, which is what most of our guests do, now you've got some real content. It becomes your salesperson for you 24/7.
Exactly.
Don't ask me, ask my guests, ask my clients who make, one of my guests, he's on, go look at our yourlittlecastle.com/results, or just click on the yourlittlecastle.com, takes you right there. Click on it. And my buddy Isaac, he says, I made $360,000 off being on your show.
Wow.
How do you know that? I tracked it.
Yeah.
Good, because most of my clients don't track anything. The big guys do. When I did stuff for Car Shield, Anheuser-Busch, all those places, we tracked everything down to the penny. And I can prove that. I've got the documentation. I don't share any stats for my clients, but I can give you a snapshot of something that you can tell we know what we're talking about. And so that's what we do for our clients. That's what we do for our guests. And this thing takes people to another level, because the first and absolute most important thing, my dad made this point to me, it's kind of an interesting joke, but the first profession on the planet was not what many people say it is. It was marketing. First, that you must gain their attention before any other services are provided. and so you got to do that, because if you don't get their attention, it doesn't matter how awesome you are. It doesn't matter how good your product is. It doesn't matter how awesome your thing is. It makes a difference for somebody.
Yeah.
You got to get their attention. Ask the Cardinal Cowboy. Ever heard of the Cardinal Cowboy? I got so many followers and craziness, and I had to delete and start over on one of my accounts because of craziness that we all know what we're talking about. But I mean, that's just the way the world is, and get ready for it.
Yeah.
Or go out of business. Your decision. True?
True, yeah. You gotta be able to roll with the punches.
And keep up with what's going on.
Yeah.
Hey, it's time to catch up with the 90s. And why do I say that? Because some of my guests, like literally, they're still stuck in the 80s.
Yeah.
And like now they have a website, but it doesn't look very good, and it makes them look worse. But if you can slap a good-looking video in the front of your website that looks like you know what you're talking about, because we know how long did it take me to get the agreement and everything in place that I have with ABC? A long time.
Yeah.
But we worked on it, we proved it, and now we have this. And I can put that ABC logo that you all see right there. It's not on the wall behind me. It's part of our embedded video production here. And it will make a difference for you and your business and everyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's such a relief to have somebody who knows what they're talking about, who gets what we're trying to do, who isn't already working for some big company that's paying her a fair wage, but not near as much as she can do with us and how much she can help people and make a better wage here, because we've got this ball rolling and it is not stopping. I knew I should have quit my job working. I was the #1 sales guy for the largest marketing company in the country. They put me in the presidential suite.
Yeah.
At the Port of Vallarta won the whole season, whole year. I won the whole deal, and I'm like, that's cool, but how can we help our clients?
Yeah.
I've been doing a show on the side, all paid for by a big, well-known sponsor, and you can figure out who that is if you start looking at what I was doing. And I said, we could do this. I said, I got some stuff. They said, we're good.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I said, guess what? I quit.
Yeah. No, I told you on the phone yesterday we met on the phone yesterday.
Yeah.
And I told you, I was like, the greatest thing I've ever done is never go to work for someone else. I have been self-employed since I was 19 years old, and 10 years on, that's not going to change. I am able to do my SEO business and everything else I do from my computer on a hotspot while I am in a band van touring the country with Crystal Lady. So I've built my own little empire there.
She's got a bunch of other fun stuff she does. I mean,
Yeah.
she has done some real estate stuff. It's on the wall off to the right. I'll do a wider shot. Which camera? We've been switching our cameras around, so I got to figure out which one I did that with. But but she's not a realtor at the moment. She does your referral.
I'm a referral agent, yeah. So I
agent.
work with a great partner, and if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, we can absolutely help you.
Okay, and also see if that comes up. Yeah, there's your band.
Yeah.
So, and that's a lot of fun
Well,
stuff
that's my
there.
personal, yeah. Chela, Crystal Lady. Crystal Lady's the band.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to go back because you got a real great looking professional page on your LinkedIn. So that's where
Thank
that
you.
was before. I'll put that up back for everybody to see. There she is, and now she's going to update that. We've been working together now we've got at least 10 or 20 hours working together already, and we're going to make a difference. Like I said, I've had, 5 or 6 of my friends, colleagues, referrals, people want to work with me, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
And some of them are still working with me, but a couple of them just didn't work out. And when I looked at it, and I go, why was that? Well, they didn't understand anything about marketing, really, and I would be willing to give them an opportunity. And then they thought, well, this is going to be work. And I'm like, yeah, it's work no matter what you're doing if you're going to do it well. But after talking to Kayla here, I began to realize I will save myself a lot of work because she already knows 85% of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
The other 15% ties into how you produce a TV show. And that's something I expect very many people to know how to do. But we're going to take it from here.
Yeah, wonderful.
You excited?
I'm excited,
All right,
yes.
got to do the fist bump. Here we go.
All right.
Boom,
Thank
yeah.
you.
All right. Stay tuned, everybody. Hope this audio turned out great. We're having problems with our mic a little bit, but I think it might have worked out because I can see the meters going over there. Worst case, I do a little editing and juice up the audio a little bit. Stay tuned, everybody. This is Carter Rethwish, a.k.a. the Cardinal Cowboy. Giddy up.